Hello, fellow papers, typers, preppers, nihilists, whatever it is you decide to consider yourself, or those people who just don't like labels. You're welcome to another not so exciting episode of hiking. I'm not lunting. Don't have a pipe with me. Here I go again on my own. For those of you who remember 80s music. So it is Thursday this week. Just feels like it is dragging. Job update. Well, I did finally receive a call and an email. And I had to fill out another background check thing for a local delivery company that this third party is contracting with. So there was that. And then after I filled that out, I received 2 confirmation emails stating that I had done that. And the very next day I received a phone call saying that I had not done that. I don't know. I don't know what the story is. At this point, I really just... Unless they're calling me to say, hey, you're starting at this day, at this time, be at this place, and dress appropriately. I really, at this point, just don't care. So, oh, is that still over there? Had an owl yesterday who apparently flew into our house, died, and found it just before going on a walk yesterday. And it's just a little guy. Had to take it out to the woods. And don't really know what else to do with it. Surprised something hasn't found it. But it's only been out here for a day. So, I kind of felt guilty because front of our house has a bunch of windows, and I'm assuming that it flew into one of the windows while out hunting, maybe looking for some place to nest, and that happened. So I spent like half hour last night looking up how to build an owl house, and I already have a good idea as to where I might put 1 or 2 around the property, because we have a lot of mice and voles and stuff like that. And quite frankly, putting a garden in, you'd want some owls around to help keep those little critters away. And if it flew into our house, it means it was already hunting in the area. So why not make up for the loss and encourage a few others to add to the population. So I'm still, I don't even know if I posted that video. I made a couple videos the other day at the cabin, and I never even posted them, I just deleted them. One was replying to Gribbly's request for, I still don't even understand what the hell the challenge was. It's like 3 pipes and 5 pipe tobaccos, something like that. I don't know. So I listed off some things I recalled him talking about, and I don't even think he talked about pipes. I don't remember that at all. But yeah, I was like, well, this video pretty much sucks, and not wasting anybody's time with it. So, anyways, I think this is gonna be my last video for a while, because over the last week or so, I've just been burnt out on quite a few things. I sit down at night to write something, work on something, and my brain just feels like it's fried. And I think it's a lot of things at one time. I think it's too much information throughout the day. YouTube videos, podcasts, listening to interviews, constantly taking stuff in, and I think my brain just needs a freaking break. And by the time my kids go to bed at night and it's quiet in the house, it's just, whatever it is I'm doing right now just isn't working, and I need to do something different, or at least take some type of a break, figure out what my priorities are. I know the last time I felt this way, or was experiencing something like this, I stopped following a bunch of channels on YouTube, deleted a couple of apps, pretty much cleaned out my phone. And then slowly over time, it's like due to boredom or like spare time sitting on the toilet. I don't know. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I haven't been on this for a while. Well, at the moment, I still don't have a podcast app. I still do. I got rid of that. I haven't been listening to any podcasts as of lately. To my surprise, I learned that if you are on Odyssey, also known as Library, those videos you can play as a podcast. So you don't have, unlike YouTube, which you gotta have a subscription and pay us so that you can watch stuff without having your phone screen on. Odyssey automatically does that, and there's a lot of content switching over to Odyssey, and I'd rather support some outlet like Odyssey than YouTube. One thing, there's been a lot of things bugging me lately, and it's like every other day something is just happening where I'm just like, we're living in like a combination of 1984, The Day After Tomorrow. Pretty soon I'm waiting for like Red Dawn to happen, where like the Chinese are rolling down the street saying that they like own our farm or something. And absolutely nothing surprises me anymore. So Tim Pool wasn't able to start his live feed until he changed the title of the feed. And it had to do with a news story about Greta Thunberg having images of her burned in India for basically committing what India considered to be a international terror crime. So, who's the villain here? Is it YouTube or is it Greta? And yeah, so that irked me. I'm not a fan of censorship. And then YouTube or Facebook is not allowing any news out of Australia, which the funny thing is, lately I have been finding Australia to be the only news outlet that doesn't seem to be censored or part of the Great Reset agenda. So, thankfully, I'm not on Facebook anymore, and haven't been for a long time. And upon hearing that, I already knew for sure, but that just solidified. Never going to that piece of shit ever again. You know, the only other internet cesspool I absolutely refuse to participate in is Twitter. Sorry, Martin. But yeah, Twitter can burn in hell as well. And with the way they're running things, I'm hoping that within the next year they're going to be gone. But I don't know. In our society, it seems to be that useless assholes and constant pieces of shit in society are always being rewarded and promoted. Has anybody else noticed that in the places that they've ever worked? It's like the biggest piece of crap within the organization. Not only are they constantly getting away with shit, but then, like, as part of their punishment, they're like, okay, Bob, you're mid-level management. You really shouldn't have grabbed her ass, so we're promoting you to upper management. Like, all the time. Almost every place I've ever worked at, that was the policy. Bob is a piece of shit, Bob gets promoted. And I feel like society's doing that with Twitter and Facebook, and it's like the worst these companies act. Disney, yeah. It's just a horrible institution. It's a freaking cult. Call it what it is. And now that they're adding wokeness to their cultish philosophy, it's only getting worse. So, yeah, I'm burned out. I definitely need a break. So I think I'm going to take a couple weeks, maybe a month. Not post on... I might... I mean, I have my channel, but I'm also on Odyssey. So this very well could be my last YouTube video. So you can always go over to Odyssey, which I guarantee is going to be, if you check it out, it's a better platform. You don't even have to watch the videos or have your phone on. You can just hit play and it'll play like a podcast. So there is that. I really just need to get off of YouTube. Just stop watching. Which sucks. There's a couple people I like to, keep up to date with, but if I have YouTube, then I'm just going to be on there all the time, and I know that's part of like what's going on with my head. Really, I should just be reading more, doing more things around the house. That's always my argument with stuff like this is, well, I can always listen to it while I'm working. No, you can't. Otherwise, you're not focusing on what you're doing and you're just doing a shitty job. So, who wants to do that? Multitasking has never worked. So, yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about. Well, Joe Biden could go F himself. Yeah. I think that was like the last straw mentally for me, was him making an argument as to why China having concentration camps where women are raped, forced to have abortions, are sterilized, where people are having their organs harvested and sold on the black market by the Chinese government. He made an argument that that was okay. And, for all the people who recently said that Rush Limbaugh was a horrible human being and that they hope he burns in hell, um, if you're not speaking up against Joe Biden right now for the comments that he just made, well, then you're a fucking horrible human being. And yeah, hell is like not the worst place that you probably deserve. Because, there was a time when the U.S., when this country stood for ideas that were greater than itself. It was, there's the notion of being isolationist, where what we do here is what we do, what you do over there is it's fine. No, it's there was a time when if you were committing crimes against humanity, that was unacceptable. Especially after what we saw in World War II. There were people that were escaping Europe that were coming here trying to tell us what was happening. Granted, there was a lot of anti-Semitism at the time in the United States. And there was a lot of people who just didn't believe it, thinking that it was just another argument against Hitler. Then our guys rolled into Poland and Germany and started finding these places where these atrocities were happening. And people saw firsthand accounts of what was deemed to be like some of the worst that human beings could absolutely do to one another. And here it is happening again. And our president, the most popular man ever voted in, the boring old guy who's going to set things right, or at least make it so that things weren't so divided in the country, just stated that what China was doing in their concentration camps was fine because they have a different culture from us. This is unacceptable. It's completely, there's no other term for it. It's, under no circumstances should the leader of the free world, yeah, right, should they be stating that what is happening in China is okay? Like, how do you even wrap your head around that? Like, we used to be better than that. Hell, when Donald Trump was president, we were better than that. At least he told China to go fuck themselves. Literally. He told China to go fuck themselves. And now it's ass kissing. Hell, they might as well just put a straw in their rectum and offer it to Joe Biden, because he would suck everything out of it to make them happy. And that is just, it's very obvious he does not work for the American people right now. He doesn't work for human rights. He doesn't work for the Constitution, as we've seen with his statement about basically overriding the Second Amendment. The allowing of the First Amendment to be trampled on by big tech. Whatever special interest he works for is definitely not based in America. And I have a feeling it's based somewhere over the Pacific in a large red country where they have concentration camps. That's who he's working for. And that's been an ongoing issue with several of our previous presidents. Hell, George Herbert Walker Bush, he's on the Saudi payroll. Are we ever going to like go after Saudi Arabia for their human rights violations? No. Especially when they still own, I think it's 20% of the world's oil reserves. No. This is a huge issue, and it couldn't be more blatantly obvious than with Biden being president. And it's just horrible. Like, for whatever people said about Donald Trump, oh, he's just a horrible human being, he's a piece of garbage. Nothing he ever said or did rivals what Joe Biden said the other day. And that's just, it's just a fact. It's absolutely horrible. So ever since I learned about that, I just can't get my head around it. So I'm gonna take some time off. I'm gonna delete some apps on my phone. Probably Instagram as well. So I'm gonna send some messages to some people on Instagram and just let them know, like, hey, not only am I not gonna be posting, I'm definitely not gonna be looking at other people's stuff. Because I need a freaking break. And who knows, maybe I'll actually get to doing some writing again. Definitely spending some time with the kids. You can understand why people need breaks from their kids these days. Jesus Christ. And the little one who just turned 1, she's starting to act like she's 2. It's getting really old. In the meantime, the only thing I'm planning on keeping up with online would be my WordPress site. Not so much checking stuff, but just posting. So there's going to be that as well. So if you want to know what's going on in my head or what's happening, head over there. Maybe I'll have some new stuff posted. Newsletter is going to be on hiatus for a month. And I think as of right now, I'll probably be working on finishing reading The Great Reset, which is, I would recommend reading it if you want to know what the hell is in store for us in the future, because it is an absolutely horrible document that maps out all of their poor arguments for doing what they're doing and why they're planning what is in store. And you can see for yourself as to the changes already being made and what is happening. So there is that. But yeah. Hope everyone's doing well. As for you poor bastards in Texas, I don't know what the hell to tell you. I hope you're prepared. Hope you had your preps in order. But living in Texas, I assume that you're probably more prepared for high heat than you were for our local weather. So that's really unfortunate, and I guess that is the definition of a natural disaster. So something that other people in other regions should be considering. That's about it. I really don't have anything else to share. So yeah, take care. See you in a month. Fuck Joe Biden.